welcome YouTubians to another Saturday. Well, today we gonna make some body modifications. We also gonna make some modifications on the interior. We scratch built some seat belts. You're gonna see that. But first, as always, the riddle. Since we have a stronger motor in, I also thought it must be a good idea to strengthen the roll cage a little bit. So that's what we're gonna do as next step here. I did not glue the roll cage in right now because first I wanted to be able to paint it. Now with the door panels and the seats, I went in a simply two-tone color scheme. For the seatbelt buckles, I built a while ago some out of wire and casted them, and that's what I have here. You see, like the red one is simply painter's tape that I painted red and cut in the right stripes, and now it's just a matter of putting some glue on it and mount them together. Of course, there's different racing harness, 5-point, 7-point, and whatnot. So I went just with a simple, I think it's called a 4-point, and but I think it actually turned out really good for that is all scratch built. Not that bad. I also had to modify the dashboard. It would not fit in with the new tunnel for the powertrain, so I had to adjust that a little bit. And for the screen in the middle in the console, I cut out of that blue foil a little stripe and simply glue that in to represent the screen. I simply used the decals for tachometer and such, and they were not bad, so I just glued them in. But at the end of the day, you know me, always have to do at least some scratching, so I thought, well, I'll make a tachometer and a speedometer or whatever, RPM meter, or whatever you want to call it, from scratch and just gonna glue them on top. After I was happy with size, I printed out of the good old internet some gauges, put some scotch tape over it, and cut them out and glued them in. That's pretty much what I did. Next step, mounting the steering wheel and the pedals. After I painted and detailed those two fire extinguishers, was time to mount them as well. Few less steps and then the interior was actually finished. I really love the style of the car, but the kit it had a lot of flash, as you see here, and the kit wasn't that good, to be honest with you. It has a lot of flash, must be an old mold, I don't know, I'm not so good with that when which kit is made and remade or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I anyway scratch built a lot of it, so it was not that bad. So what I had to do, wanted to widen the rear quarters, and I started that process by cutting out the wheel wells. To widen the body, I simply cut out styrene strips and glued them on until I had the desired width. That all, of course, looks a little bit rough on the edge still, so I had to put on some Bondo and start, you guessed it, sanding. To have the car actually hug the asphalt, I also want to lower the side, so I built some side skirts as well. And I also scratch built a front spoiler. So the rear quarters had enough time to dry. Now I mounted some endings for the wheel wells. If I do a lot of modifications like on this car, I always work back and forwards because all that stuff needs to dry. So while the wheel wells on the rear side dries, I finished the side skirts. Next, you guessed it, a lot of Bondo, a lot of sanding. If you use Bondo, always keep in your mind that it shrinks a little bit, so put a lot on, the most of it anyway ends up on your workbench by sanding it down. Next step, I had to scribe that panel line that I really wanted to keep from the body. I really like that. So it was really hard enough to even fit that V8 on the front of this tiny little car. So I decided to have the radiator on actually in the trunk. So I will open the trunk and have a air intake, and we'll have two fans on the radiator, and where actually the license plates are, the air can stream through. So you're gonna see in a second what I mean by that. So we have this actually downwards air scoop with the two fans and the radiator, and the air will flow through it and cool down the engine in front. We're gonna have two pipes to the engine in front. Of course, I also opened some air intakes on the front to really get the engine enough to breathe. The lengthwise was able to just remove the firewall, but the hood just didn't fit, so I had to open the hood to make that fit. And of course I widened a little bit the rear wing, but that's pretty much what we did to the body so far. Alright, that's all for now. I hope you enjoyed a little bit. What's up, little fella? Oh, so you come up. Okay, so you want to say something? Well, you never say anything. Okay. Well, so I hope you enjoyed a little bit of time with us. Have fun with whatever build that you want to do on this weekend. Give me some thumbs up if you want to. And bye for now. See you next Saturday. Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.